In this part of the NEOS tutorial, we're going to talk about NodeType constraints. They can be used to define which node types should be allowed as direct children of other node types. And that's very important, especially in larger sites, because it restricts your editor's choices only to node types which make sense in a certain context. Imagine we want to add a blog section to our website. We want a parent type, which will be called blog, under which only blog posts should be allowed. We don't want any pages or shortcuts in our blog. So let's switch over to our editor and make that happen. We'll create our first node type, call it my site blog, inherit from NEOS node types page, and give it a UI group of general and a label of blog. Now let's just copy that whole thing and give it a name of blog post and change the label to blog post as well. Let's switch over to NEOS, reload the page, and here's our blog and blog post node type. When we add the blog, of course, we can still add all types of documents under it. Pages, shortcuts, and even the blog itself, which doesn't really make sense. In the node type configuration, we can now add a new section called Constraints, under which we'll put a setting of node types. And here we can explicitly define which types of nodes should be allowed as direct children of our blog. Now, the first instinct would be to use the star selector in order to disallow everything and then only allow my site blog post as true. Let's switch over to NEOS, reload, and see if that changed anything. And we can see that it's still possible to insert all kinds of document nodes here. And the reason for this is that node type constraints are inherited from the parent. So let's have a look at NEOS node types page. We can see that there are no node type constraints here, so we need to go up another level to NEOS document. And here we find the default constraints for all document node types. And we can see that star is already set to false, but NEOS document is set to true. And because that's more specific, it overrides the star selector. When we think about that, it makes a lot of sense, because we don't want any content node types as direct children of our document node types. This means that we can switch back to our own nodetypes.yaml and change the star into NEOS document. Switch back to NEOS and reload. And now only blog posts are allowed under our blog section. Of course, I can add more node types here, especially the blog section, which doesn't really make sense under a blog post. So let's disable everything just by copying this part and thereby giving my site blog post constraints node types NEOS document false, which effectively disables all node types under the my site blog post type. Let's switch over and reload. And we can see that now even the UI is disabled. I cannot add new node types here.